Okay, this is for a upcoming class I'm going to do. I'm going to try to repair a picture that's been torn in half. I'm using it because it'll use most of the tools that you're going to use. So let's get started. I'm going to want the biggest TIFF file I have on it. And you can go File Select or just drag the picture into GIMP. Okay, Shift Control J will enlarge the picture to fit in the window. Now generally I will duplicate the original image. I do that by clicking this button down here. We will want an alpha channel. It allows transparencies. So I'm going to right click, scroll down to add alpha channel. Now you'll see this is in regular text. The one without is in bold. It's just something to think about. Okay, let's get started. First I'm going to copy this left side of the image, and I'm going to start out. I want to zoom in a bit so I can see how it's going. And over here we have the scissor select tool. We're going to start with that because it focuses on high contrast areas in the image. We're going to want the interactive boundary on it so we can see how it's doing. So we're going to select our first area, and you hold down the Control key, and that's going to give you this plus mark, and we'll just select areas. Now if you go too far, you're going to see right here we're not right next to the picture. That's okay, we just click it, drag it over, and holding down the space bar we can actually drag the image around. So Control key, now as you can see right there, what we can do is pull it back while we're holding the left button on the mouse and the Control key. Shift and drag. And we can just drag it backwards to what we want. Okay, right here we'll want to actually click back onto the boundary we want and continue on down to the bottom of the image. Shift Control J, full image. And the plus minus key will zoom in and out. So I'm going to zoom out just a bit. Holding the Control key. I'm going to select outside the image. because we don't have to be careful on these edges. Now once we get this infinity symbol, we can click on it and then click inside the image, and we have the little marching ants. So we're going to come over here to Edit, Cut, Edit, Paste. We can paste as a new image or just straight paste. The straight paste will actually put it right back where it was. And if you notice over here, we get the little checkerboard effect. That's the transparency. But here we've got a floating selection layer. To put it back down, we're going to click Create New Layer. And we've got two images here. Generally, I would just duplicate the image. Oops. Control Z. I would click on the image and choose New from Visible. And we get everything as it looks. Oops, I forgot something. Control Z. I forgot to move the image over. So we'll want to zoom in. I'm going to choose this part of the image because we can line up the image with this part of the image over here. So I'm going to pick the Move tool and just drag it over. That's pretty good. One thing you can do while you're in the move part, you can use the arrows to actually adjust it to exactly what you want. Yeah, that looks good. Now we can create New from Visible. Now, generally I'd leave these layers here because I can go back and edit if I have to. But to keep the resources in the computer low, I'm going to kind of just delete them. Make sure you don't delete the wrong one. Okay. Click on here. We can I'm going to move up into this area here. I'm going to use the magnifying lens to get outside the boundary. And now we're going to use the cloning tool. Let me zoom out a little bit. That's the minus tool, minus button. Come over here to cloning. Now we're going to need a little bigger brush, and I like the hard brush. So we come over here, select the round circle without any fuzzy edges. Down below we've got the size of the brush. That's pretty good for right now. Hold down the Control key and select the area you want. I go over to the other side of the defect and I can just color it into place. Shift button. Select the area. And I'm just going to be careful and stop right at the image. And I'm going to come down here to the bottom. Do the same. Select the area. Oops, I made a mistake. Control Z. Oh, it's actually part of the image. Okay, we'll come down here. Okay, we're going to want to fix that. I'm going to actually pick a part of the image. Find the edge of the image over here. Just a simple click. Now we're down at the bottom. And just work our way up. Okay, Shift Control J. And we've fixed the worst part of the image. Now I would come in here to File, Save As. And we want to save it as an XCF file. That's the GIMP file. And yes, I'm going to want to replace the old one. Okay, well, something you'll use a lot in wrinkles is the heal tool. This is the Band-Aids. It's like the cloning tool on steroids. Kind of takes the compares the image part you select and the part being healed. Now you have to be really careful because this healing can really chew up the resources in your computer. In fact, a smaller brush might do us a little better. It's probably too small, but yeah, let's take that back up to 65. Yeah, that's a little better. You want to look, in this case, the clouds where they start and stop. You're going to want to try to find the line. If there's a big color change, the heal button doesn't work so good. In fact, right down here you'll see the dark kind of sprays off. That's part of the healing. It's okay, we'll just come back over and cover it up. Now here you'll see a dot here. That was part of the healing. We can just click it once. It takes care of it. And you see I picked up part of the area I was healing and it gave a little distortion. Come back, click, and it took care of it. Now the horses are the hardest part to do. I'm going to leave that to last. Luckily the grass isn't in very big detail, so healing works great. That's another thing you'll notice with working with old photos. They're actually easier than you think. Okay, we've healed that part. Zoom in a little bit because I'm going to actually be wanting to see the pixels in the image. Reduce the size of the brush. It looks pretty good. Might be actually a little too small. Yeah, if you'll notice it's a little dark there. We can come back over it and touch it up. Now I'm going to select on this side. Try to get the angle. Not great. Well, maybe I can just touch it again. Yeah, that's not too bad. Still got some dark spots, darkening over here, so I'm going to go back, try to lighten it up. Now this pulley or whatever it is, just do a single click. Bottom, single click. Not quite. Come down a little farther. That's good. Find the edge. Click on it. Work my way up. Find the edge. Work my way up. Now the toughest part will be this area, so I'm going to really zoom in. And I'm going to select the free select. I'm going to actually want to work on this part of the harness. Click. Click. Click, click, and click back into it. I had the control key down. It was deselecting. I actually don't need any key pushed down for this. And click in the first part. Works much better that way. Now, if you use the paintbrush tool, it's just going to look flat and obvious. So I'm going to actually select the cloning tool. Need to go a lot smaller. That's okay. I'm going to select what looks like the top of that part of the harness. And I'm just going to drag it into place. You may need to come into colors, brightness, contrast. This is actually pretty good, but you can come in here. Oh, that's a little better. Contrast. That looks pretty good. Okay. Then you can select none. That actually looks better than most of the times I've done this. So here we can do the free select again. I want to go into fuzzy select. You can choose the threshold. Let's try going up to 20. And I can click in this white area, press the shift key down, I can select more of it. You don't want too much or it's going to cause a problem. Okay, I can fix the rest later. But we're going to come into the cloning tool again. Want something about that color right there. And we can just go in here, select everything. That's going to leave kind of a rough area that we want to keep. Now that looks a little too dark. Color, brightness, contrast. That looks pretty good. Select none. And we can come in with the healing brush again. Just single click the stuff that didn't work out. And just to show you what the brush does. Okay. I'm going to hold down the control key. Select the color we want. Usually you want to go to a fuzzy brush. We can actually color this in a little better. But like I said, makes the area look flat, which I don't like. So a little healing on that. Okay, we're into 24 minutes. I want this about a half an hour, so I'm going to leave the rest of it. I hope I'm faster in the class than this. So, Shift Control J. As you can see, it looks pretty good. But since we move things, we're going to want to recrop it. I'm going to do that by going to the knife here. And try to select what we can. Now we'll want to make sure the line is good. What happened? Control J. I guess I lost the selection when I hit the zoom. Okay, the knife. Luckily, the knife tool won't go outside the image. So let's try the plus key to zoom in. That looks pretty good on that side. Yeah, a little bit of a defect right there. I'd probably clone it out. Yeah, this whole image came out pretty good. Yeah, I'd clone out that part. But to crop the picture, you just click on it. Okay, here's where you're going to be wanting to save the image. Again, we can just click Save to save it as a GIF file or GIMP file. Now, most people's going to want a copy of it in the TIFF or JPEG format. Now here, GIMP uses exports. So we're going to export as. You've got your select file types here. And as you can see, most of everything's there, including Photoshop. But let's go ahead and just save this as a JPEG. JPG. You can just type it in or come down here and select it. And I'm just going to call this test. And export. Okay, I always push the quality to 100%. And click export. Now remember, JPEG's a lossy format. You don't want to edit that. Ping, or more popular TIFF, that's the archival types. You can come back in and without losing information. So I hope you got some good out of this. Let's see. Yeah, 30 minutes. That'll give me enough time to show how to improve a aged picture. So I hope this helps. And for the class members, remember you can email me if you need help. Be glad to do what I can. So enjoy.